Hello. So it is July 23rd. It's time for me to start episode 6 of Aurora versus the Book Wall. Now, this one's a little different because we are in, as I said, the end of episode 5. We're not worried about the numbers anymore. This should really be Aurora and the Book Wall because we're friends now. We're friends. If you can't beat them, join them. But this, I was kind of missing vlogging, and also my first episode is getting a lot of views, so I'm like, shit. But this is going to be the Complete Works of Lewis Carroll edition. So this is a big ass book, and it has got, oh my god, they stopped numbering after verse. So 5, well, really 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different parts to it. And so after every part, I'm going to read a different book. So I did just read the introduction, which was the first part, and then I started in on Full Metal Alchemist 13. I'm almost done with it. This is not a manga series that I'm really working on. It's just one that I have some of. So yeah, we're again, Aurora versus the Book Wall. Aurora and the Book Wall. You know, it's a friendly competition. We're friends now. We're friends. Lewis Carroll edition. So there's that. I'm going to finish this up probably tonight. That's my whole thought, is finishing that up tonight and then get started in on the first thing of the Lewis Carroll, besides the introduction, which I believe is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. So it's my first time reading Lewis Carroll, actually, other than the Jabberwocky. So hi, so it's the next morning, July 24th. My sister's birthday. She's 18 today. I wanted to give you a little bit of a update and also kind of a little bit more of a coherent. I don't know how coherent I was last night when I decided I was doing this. But basically this is episode 1 of Aurora and the Book Wall. And I'm not gonna explain this a whole lot because I'm planning on doing a full video on it, about why I'm no longer actively trying to read down my TBR. But basically, long story short, is I realize it doesn't actually really stress me out to have a lot of books on my physical TBR. I kind of like having a lot of books on my physical TBR. Now, the space thing is a bit of an issue. You've noticed that the closet shuts now. That's not because I have less books. That's because I moved some of the books on my physical TBR outside the closet, like all my mass market paperbacks outside the closet. However, I've been doing a really good job at reading down my mass markets. And I haven't been buying a ton of mass markets. So I think those should maybe disappear at some point. But no, the only thing that's a problem is when I buy more books than I can afford, which has never really happened. I mean, like, especially right now, I mean, like, I'm making like $48,000 a year. I live in rural North Dakota, so rent's really pretty cheap. I don't have any debt. My car is paid for. My student loans are done. So buying books is something that I can comfortably. I don't have any kids. I got a cat, but she's not really very expensive. And so that's the only thing that really ever is a problem. And again, that hasn't ever really been a problem. There have been times I'm like, okay, I probably shouldn't have spent $150 on books there, but there's always been another $1,500 coming, you know. So it's never really been a problem. I could have more savings, I suppose. I have some. It's not a ton, but I have a good chunk. But so what I'm doing with this vlog is this is going to be a reading vlog, and I am going to show you books that come off of my physical TBR, and I am going to show you books that go onto my physical TBR, and I'll have a couple of bookshop.org things coming. I have been a little bit enamored with bookshop.org. I started using it during the Prime Days sale. Because I decided the only books I want to buy off of Amazon are self-published books I can't get anywhere else, like my own. But we're not going to do a count. I don't have a count anymore. I stopped keeping track because, you know, because that little like minutia, weird little data stuff is what was up the problem, man. But the goal of this is to finish the complete works of Lewis Carroll. And when I read a big book like this, a big collection of a classic author's works especially, what I do is after every little section, I read another book. So I did finish the introduction, which means I'm reading Full Metal Alchemist Volume 13. I am almost done with it. This is what I was trying to get across last night. But I've done this before with other collected works of classic authors. I did this with a bunch of Leo Tolstoy short stories. I did this with Clark Ashton Smith stuff. There are 15 sections in here, as far as the beginning tells me. And after each one, so not after each chapter, like I'll read, the next thing is the Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I'll read Alice in Wonderland in its entirety before I move on to another book. After each section, I'll read a new book. I have not yet decided if I'm going to randomize which new book I read or if I'm going to pick. I think I'm going to randomize. And that's what I did for Full Metal Alchemist. What I do is I have 63 stacks between the closet and the other little things. And then I just grab whatever. I randomize. I grab whatever books on top of that numbered stack. If it is a sequel that I can't read yet, I read something off my Kindle. And I think that's what I'm going to do. But yes. So I don't really have a TBR per se, because I don't really, you know what? Fuck it, let's make a TBR for this. Should I? I don't really like a TBR, but for a reading vlog, I feel like I might do a TBR. TBR, but subject to fucking change, alright? So we've got 15. So after the introduction, we've got Full Metal Alchemist, is what we're reading right now. After Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, I need a randomizer. I'm using my phone. Okay. Oh my god, this book was received in 1944. Hell yeah. Anyway, I will be back. I gotta randomize. Okay, hello, I'm back. So they're not actually 15 sections, there are 7 sections. I don't know why I was counting all the different sections of verses as a verse as separate sections. Verse counts as one section. So, after introduction, I'm reading Full Metal Alchemist, Volume 13, which is my current read. I'm almost done with it. After Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, I will be reading Your Lonely Nights Are Over by Adam Sass, which looks so fun. Look at that. I got this 2 years ago. It looks like a fun time. After Through the Looking Glass, I will be reading a Kindle book. I don't know what yet. We'll see. After Sylvie and Bruno, I'll be reading Wilderness Reform by Matt Query and Harrison Query. After Sylvie and Bruno concluded, I will be reading The Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest, Volume 4. After all the verse, I will be reading Do Not Disturb 2, The Platinum Palace by John Nathan. I know that this is a sequel. I do not think I particularly need to read the first one for this kind of thing. It's like with Full Metal Alchemist. Although I should be reading Full Metal Alchemist in order, I don't really care to. This is something where I don't think I need to read the first one. So I'm not going to. Alright, and then after, and that's all the verse, after stories, I will be reading The House of Last Resort by Christopher Golden, and then I finish up with Miscellany. I believe that's how we're doing this. So, that's that. This... Oh god. This is my TBR for this vlog. Hold on, let me, This is my TBR for this vlog. The Kindle book was picked because I picked a book in the Fallen Kingdom series. It's like book 5. I haven't read book 1 yet, so that one can't be read yet. I put that in my little stash of books that I can't read yet. But yes, this is my TBR for this vlog. I'm not a big fan of TBRs, like I said, but I'm hoping that if it's for a vlog, I can do it. Like I've been reading without a real TBR. Like I just randomize. Can you not, please? You know what's in there. I gotta go deal with that. For a bit now, I've been really enjoying it, but I'm hoping if it's for a vlog, that'll be okay. All right, she's opening. I gotta go figure that out. All right, I finished my first book here. I finished Full Metal Alchemist Volume 13. Like I said, this is not a series that I'm interested in reading in order or collecting or anything. So I'm vaguely familiar with Full Metal Alchemist because I think everybody is, especially people who grew up being into manga, anime stuff. In like 2010, Full Metal Alchemist is one of the big ones. This does make me interested in watching the anime. I find that a lot with series that I'm not necessarily interested in reading. I might be interested in watching the anime. I am vaguely interested in that. Not enough to go pick up a set of the DVDs, but like vaguely. I know I have some more copies of this in the book wall. So I think we'll see. We'll see once I read those. But I'm gonna finish up this, which means that next I am picking up back up with Lewis Carroll, and I am going to be reading Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. So I will try and update a bit through Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. We'll see. If not, I will update when I'm done with that, and I'm getting ready to start the next one. We'll see if I have anything to say. I'm gonna say, if nothing else, I'm really liking reading from this big, like, old copy. I don't know when exactly this edition came out, because it was never checked out from the library I took it from. I mean, it was a book sale thing. It's old. I want to say probably, I think 1944. September 19th, 1994. 1944 is when this book was put in circulation at the first library it was in, which was not the library I took it from. So I am enjoying that. I will say the story to Alice in Wonderland, I mean, I'm vaguely familiar with the story of Alice in Wonderland. I think it's pretty, it's a half decent fun. It's a children's classic, you know, so it's like, it's fine. But I do really like reading from this edition. It's a great time. Hi, so I did finish up Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and I had a fun time with it. I do really understand why this is procured so many horror movies, because there's so many just kind of like wacky and weird situations here. I mean, like, they're all so unreal, that I think that it really only takes a little bit of twisting to make them horrific. I did enjoy it though. Like I said, this is my first time ever reading the actual classic novel, and it is a classic. It's a children's classic, so it's really quite easy to get through, but it is a classic, so it does have so much just fun, and it is also, I mean, it's got all the original illustrations in there, and it's so self-referential, and I just really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm looking forward to Through the Looking Glass. That is the next one in this little anthology here. Little anthology. It's the complete works of Lewis Carroll. In this little complete works of this author's entire stuff. But before I do read Through the Looking Glass, I'm reading my next other fourth novel, and that is Your Lonely Nights Are Over by Adam Sass, which is fairly recent, I want to say. This was got in 2023. It came out in 2023. It looks like an interesting one, and I will probably update relatively recently. Fucking first book versus the book wall is absolutely blowing up. I don't know if it's the setup of the videos where I really only update after I've finished a book, or another one has or another one has been added to the book wall, or if it is just the fact that I have just such a ridiculously large TBR. But I do feel like Aurora and the book wall is not going to do quite so well, because we love challenges and verses. But next up, I am reading Your Lonely Nights Are Over by Adam Sass. We will see how we feel about this. I feel like I am going to enjoy it. I think there'll be a lot to it that I think it's got some stuff automatically in it that are going to make me like, it's pretty thick too. It's thicker than I thought it would be. It's like, how long are you? Like 400 pages long. Not dang. All right, I will update you when I have something to say. All right, so I am 70 pages into Your Lonely Nights Are Over. 70, 74. It's interesting. It seems like it's a very kind of a meh book right now. I'm sitting at like a soft 4 currently. It's interesting. It just feels a little bit rushed, which is weird because it's so long. But the beginning does feel kind of rushed. I wish we would have gotten a little bit more set up. And I wish that we wouldn't have had that weird time skip. But overall, it's okay. We'll see. Withholding judgment for now. Hi. +1 to the book wall real quick. I did get in the July 21st New Yorker. We got the sun cooking up a city here because heat waves. So that will be fun. I'm also did get another about 100 pages into Your Lonely Nights Are Over. So I'm at about something. I'm at part 4. Like about page 200. I'm having fun. It's a lot of fun. I think it's a definite 4. maybe 4.5. I think if it really has a fun ending, it could bump its way up to 4.75 or a 5. I do think that the characters are interesting. I think that it's very Tumblr. It's very Tumblr circa 2014 in a lot of ways. I would not be surprised if Mr. Sass had been on Tumblr in 2014, so that might be a turnoff for some people. But I think it's interesting, and I think the characters are interesting, and Benny interests me. Like, I think he's got something going on there. But yes, there's that. +1. Don't know what the count is because we're not keeping track of it anymore. I don't even have the spreadsheet anymore on. Oh, I do, but it hasn't been updated. So there's that. Hello. I do have a handful of packages here. I believe most of them are books. I don't think this one is. I think this one is actually a movie. I'm fairly certain this is the DVD that I got. So yes. So I did pick up Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. I did also just pick up the show too. I don't know, I was in a mood. I think I saw what Fire Walk with Me smelled. I was like, oh, and then I was like, well, I should also get the show. So this one is a pre-order. I have a couple more pre-orders coming in from Amazon. Other than that, though, these are pre-orders I made like a hot second ago. Other than that, all my pre-orders are now going to bookshop.org. But I did pre-order volume 16 of Monthly Girls and Zaki-kun. I'm so excited. This is my favorite manga series. It is so funny. I love it so much. Oh, man. So excited. I'm so excited. So yes, very excited. And then this was a bookshop.org order. I made a couple of these when I was just becoming a bit enamored with the site, but not very many really. And this is one of the few large ones. For the most part, I was just buying like single books. This is more than one book, but I think we got 3 in here. Is that what we got? I think we got 3 in here. I'm just ruining this 4-box. What does it do to me? All right. First thing I got is this manga, and it is called The Metalhead Next Door, which just looked so wacky and so weird. I have never heard of this before. I just saw it while browsing the site, and it just looks like a fun time. I don't know, I'm into it. I also picked up That Devil Ambition by Lindsay Miller, which looked so cool, which is like dark academia, which is kind of what I was going for, I suppose. Yeah, they have to kill the professor. I don't know, it looked fun. It looked fun. The last one, the hype got me, and I did pick up, can you not please? Thank you. I did pick up Legends and Lattes, and I did pick up the pretty fancy edition. I don't know. I'm interested. I figure it's time, you know. So that is a +4 to the book wall. +4 to the book wall, and there we are. For the second killer, I'm not going to tell you whether I'm right or not. I know it can't be Justin because he's so much of a red flag. I feel like it's probably Mike. Like, that makes sense for me. My secret heart is terrified that it's Benny, because that would be so much more. But like, it can't. He's too little. He's too little. Can't be Benny. I'm not going to tell you whether I'm right or not because spoilers, but like, not Benny, please. Okay, -1 from the book wall. I did just finish up Your Lonely Nights Are Over by Adam Sass, and at the beginning, like, it took me a bit to get involved. In fact, you can see my blank book. Man, I got rid of so many. Look at that. Anyway, it took me a bit to get into this, but I don't even know what to say, how to explain. I really liked the characters. I liked the horror of it. Like, this is a straight up slasher, and that's super fun. I told you I wasn't going to say whether I guessed it right or not, but I think the fact that it made me guess is great because I don't always want to guess. Like, I'm not a predictor. I'm really not. I also, my bookmark for this was on my Dan and Phil photo cards, which feels right. Anyway, I loved it. It was great. I do think that if you are not used to very overtly 2010s Tumblr queer stuff, like all of that jargon. It may be tough for you, it may be difficult. I had a great time. It was a great time. So -1, I loved it. So that means next I'm continuing to the world of Lewis Carroll. I will be reading Through the Looking Glass and What Alice Found There, which is, how long is that? Where's my 12 chapters again. It's like 120 pages or so it shouldn't take me too long. My goal is I would love to finish this today as well. Not the whole book, but Through the Looking Glass today as well. But yeah, that's my another from the book wall. And it was a good one. Hi, I did just finish up Through the Looking Glass, and it is interesting just how much of the original, I suppose, the Disney Alice in Wonderland, because that's really the form of the story that I'm the most used to. It's really interesting how much of that was really just taken directly from the two stories. It's not just the one. It's both. I mean, like, this is the one where you get, yeah, over there. Here we go. This is the one where you get Tweedledee and Tweedledum is in Through the Looking Glass, and the walrus and the carpenter and all that fun stuff. And the mean flowers are also in Through the Looking Glass. I had a lot of fun with it. I really do. I think it's really amazing just how interesting children's lit used to be. And I'm not saying there's not good children's literature now, but Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass both have been just so magical in a really interesting way. I had a really good time with it. Next in this is Sylvie and Bruno, but we are not touching that until we read a Kindle book. So I'm going to really grab my Kindle and see what we are reading for that, because I don't quite know yet. So how I pick that, like my Dan and Phil crafts, how I pick my Kindle book is, what I do is I go down however many days it is in the month, so it's the 27th right now. I count that many down, and then that's the one that I read next. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. It is going to be Ancient Legends, The World's Most Fascinating Myths by Sophia L. I wonder how long that is, because it doesn't sound like it's going to be very good. I really should not just stuff my Kindle with just such trash, but I kind of do. Most of the stuff on my Kindle comes from r/free ebooks, if we're being completely real here. And sometimes they're like stuff at Kindle days that I end up getting. Let me see how long this is. Let's see. Oh my god, it's only 53 pages. I will have this done pretty quickly. Yeah, okay, it's just giving you information about myths, which is interesting. What the hell? I think I would honestly count this as nonfiction. That might be what this ends up going to in her kit, but yes, this right here is what we'll read next, and I mean, it's basically bedtime now. But I will probably finish that pretty early on tomorrow, read the next Lewis Carroll thing, and then get started on Wilderness Reform, which is my next physical book. So that is that. Not technically -1 for the book wall, because I didn't finish the book, and that's just what I don't count. If it's a compilation, I don't count it on the full book. But continuation, I'm moving towards -1 from the book wall. So there's that. Hi, -1 from, I suppose, the virtual book wall. I did just finish up Ancient Legends, The World's Most Fascinating Myths by nobody that they're telling me. I think it's like Sophie L is what Amazon said or something like that. And this was on my Kindle. I have it up here, theoretically. It was okay. I mean, it was just it was 50 pages. And it was just about like Norse, Greek, and Chinese mythology. It was fine. It did what it had to do. I read it in about 20 minutes. Like, it was fine, but it is done, which means I can move on to the next thing in the Lewis Carroll book, and then I will move on to Wilderness Reform. Hi, I got new glasses. Whenever you get new glasses, it takes some getting used to. I came out to packages, so we're gonna see what we add to the book wall, what we're feeding the book wall. See, I'm reframing things. so this one is from bookshop.org. I did pick up Fish by TJ Parcell, which was actually recommended to me on my Dark Books video, and it looked interesting. It is a memoir of a guy who, when he was 17, he was sentenced to how many years in prison? Between 4 and 15 years in prison, and how poorly that went for him. So this is a +1 to the book wall. And this is from Amazon. Oh, I think this is an indie book that I picked up. So there's one of the channels that I watch has been doing indie author spotlights at the end, and because I like to support fellow indie authors, I have been picking up one of their books every single time. So I picked up The Boy Who Played the Queen by C.M. Cutts, which is a cute little guy. Oh my god, he's cute. He looks like we match. But no, this is a Shakespearean thing, historical, queer, another +1 to the book wall. I believe this right here is actually a DVD, but I will open it up anyway, just in case. And if it is a DVD, you know, you can see my DVD, I suppose. We got Jelly Jam here, checking out what we got going on. Let's see. Wow, they packed this guy in there. So, oh good, I'm glad. It's a standard DVD, it looks like. So I did pick up season 2 of Fresh Off the Boat. So this is season 2. We got lots more episodes in season 2. Holy shit. Season 1 had like 12 episodes. This has like twice that. But we have season 2 of this, which is good. I just finished up season 1 last week. So now I do. Oh my gosh, they shoved. Wow. Whenever I get a DVD from eBay, I always feel really bad about how poorly I packed mine. Now we have another season 2 of that. But yes, that is a +2 to the book wall. I am excited about both of these books, and that's kind of my goal here, is to be buying books that I'm really excited about, and books that I really, really want to read, you know, not just like buying for the sake of buying. It's like my, how I'm considering eating and stuff like that, which honestly has been slipping a bit with stresses, but I think that's kind of that kind of, don't bite me please, that's kind of how it goes, but really focusing on buying books that I really want to read, not just because they're on sale or because I'm getting FOMO. Not that I'm really good at like waiting for a while. Like I haven't read Fourth or anything, it just doesn't sound interesting to me. But anyway, these two are books that I'm excited about, and this one does have the bonus of being by an indie author, self-published author, and I think it's gonna be a fun time. I think it's gonna be a fun time. Yeah, that's that. In terms of reading, I am in the middle of Sylvie and Bruno. Not gonna lie, it's not gripping me. The Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass were a fun time. Sylvie and Bruno is not. I am so bored. I'm almost done. I think I'm within 100 pages of being done, so I could try and finish that tonight. I might try and finish that tonight, because holy shit, I cannot. But there's that. I'll finish that up hopefully tonight. But this week is gonna be pretty busy for me because I'm gone all day on Wednesday. I have 3 projects for my 2 classes to finish up. One of them I'm not too worried about. The other, as it's like, it's not as long as the other ones, and it's also about, I would say, 2/3 of the way done. The other 2 I'm like, oh fuck shit. Wednesday I'm gone all day. Saturday we might go to Renaissance Fair. Sunday I'm getting married. Although Saturday and Sunday don't really have anything to do because the semester ends on Friday. But then I also have lots of stuff I want to do done in my classroom. So I don't think this week I'm gonna be able to do any real damage in the classroom. I think that'll have to wait for next week. But I can go for my little, I've been going for like little couple hour spurts at a time, which I should be able to do this week, at least Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So we'll see. But then again, I should be able to get, I get the most reading done when I'm the busiest because it's my procrastination technique. So that is that. I have got some stuff to put away, some stuff to settle, and then some stuff to do tonight. We were gone pretty much all day. It is only, however, what, like 5:46. So I've got plenty of time. I got a bubbler and some cherry sours from the grocery store. You see what I mean about the candy coming back. It's because of the stress. It's because of the stress. So we gotta figure some of that shit out. But that, yeah, that is everything. I will talk to you later. Goodbye. I did just finish up Sylvie and Bruno, which is the third thing in here. So it's I'm at 507 now. I found Alice in Wonderland Through the Looking Glass really very charming. I thought they were very fun. Sylvie and Bruno, not my thing. I was deeply bored, and I feel like I don't know, like the first 10 chapters or so, I was just kind of going. And I don't know, like it was just, it had its moments, but like it just wasn't as good, especially after reading Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. I honestly think I like Through the Looking Glass more than Alice in Wonderland, because it just had some really wacky stuff going on. But Sylvie and Bruno's done. Although we're not done with Sylvie and Bruno forever, because guess what's after Sylvie and Bruno? Sylvie and Bruno concluded, so I get to have a lot of fun with that. But before that, my next read is Wilderness Reform by Matt Query and Harrison Query, which I have heard bad things about. But I'm excited. It's one of those ones that gets compared to Lord of the Flies a lot, which means that it's one that I feel like I might be more into. I hope so. I hope I can just have some fun with it, even if it isn't good. So that is that. I'm gonna start up on this now. I've kind of fallen back into updating this a bit more like my first couple versus videos, which I don't think is a bad thing. But I do have some thoughts in my head of how I'm gonna do some after this, when I'm not trying to get through the complete works of Lewis Carroll. But yes, I'm gonna start up on this. I will update you either when I finish or when I have something to say. Hi, I am feeding the book wall again. I'm pretty sure I know what this is. I have the problem is I've been rewarding myself for completing grad school assignments and projects through books, which is, you know how it is. Yes, I was right. I picked up Freak's Law by Jane Flett, which, this is like, I heard this kind of like a freak show thing, and it's 1997, deviant queers. I'm excited. I don't know, it just looked fun. This is one that actually I saw somebody like DNF, but it looked like a fun time. So we're feeding the book wall today, +1. It just came to me as I'm watching Clerks 3, which I'm still watching. You know where Jason Moss came from in The Odds Boys, the Luke's friend in book 3. He's Jason Mewes, but like a little bit more reasonable. I have a package. I believe it to be a book. It feels like a book. I feel like this is one of those indie books that I bought. By the way, also read this. Didn't mention it because it was not on my TBR, but I did finish that up off of the book wall. Loved it. It's my favorite manga series. Yes, this is Insidious Inheritance by Emily West, which is an indie book that I picked up because it was recommended on, I should remember her name, I don't, booktube, like indie author spotlight, to purchase other indie books, and that is really the primary Amazon books that I get are indie books that you cannot get anywhere else. So feeding the book wall today. Hi, -1 from the book wall. I just finished up Wilderness Reform by Matt Query and Harrison Query, and let me tell you, this book shouldn't have taken me this long. I started reading this on July 29th. It is now August 1st. I realize that doesn't sound like a long time. This is like 320 pages long, and it's theoretically 340, okay. Theoretically, you know, it's a thriller. It's like fast, and I did read the last 100 pages during the same amount of time it took for Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast album to play through fully. So I think the main problem with this book, and like nobody likes this book, like I don't think I've ever seen a positive review of this book. I think at best people are kind of mad about it. In my heart, I'm thinking about it too. It didn't feel, the characters were the problem, I think, and I think there's got to be a way to make a really skilled child character without making them feel like a robot or like a character, more like a person. I don't think the Query brothers found it. I thought that there's a character who died and he has this like grand final words. I think that was really dumb. I just think that it was trying too hard to be a novel almost, and it kind of lost any of the magic. Like there isn't really no story magic here. There's no story magic. It's got some weird, interesting ideas. And it is compared to Lord of the Flies quite a bit, which is why I picked it up. But it's not good. It's not good. The characters are weak. The setting is okay. There could have been more done with the setting. Yeah, it wasn't good. And now I'm heading straight into something I also know I'm not going to enjoy very much, because now I'm back to Lewis Carroll, and we all remember how I felt about Sylvie and Bruno. It's time for Sylvie and Bruno Concluded, which is longer than Sylvie and Bruno. Goddamn. It's not a great day. Me and the book wall, we're not having a great time right now. But I did finish up Wilderness Reform. So, hello. So I did finish up Sylvie and Bruno Concluded today. I was in the car lot because went to a Renaissance fair. I got you can see my sword. You can see my sword? Got a little sword. And my problem with Sylvie and Bruno is not Sylvie and Bruno, honestly. When Sylvie and Bruno are there, it's actually pretty fun. But whenever Sylvie and Bruno aren't there, which is the vast majority of the time, it's boring as hell. But I did finish it, and which means that all I have, I've got next is verse, which should not be too bad. Then after verse takes a while, but again, it's in verse, so it's like, it doesn't take long to read. So I am going to be starting up volume 4 of The Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest next. I did also get some mail. This is self-insurance information, but this is going to be up close to the book wall. It's a pre-order. I did pre-order the Raven Boys graphic novel. I was so fucking curious about this, honestly. I thought it looked like a fun time. So it's turned to sad Adam parts, but no, I was curious, so I picked it up. But yeah, I did also get a bunch of stuff from Hot Topic, but that is neither here nor there. This is not a Hot Topic haul. This is Aurora and the book wall situation. So yes, feeding the book wall today, but just a bit. We did not go to Barnes & Noble, even though we were in Fargo, which is fine. I don't need to be in Barnes & Noble, honestly. So that is that. I put some stuff away, make sure that this is just, yeah. And I will talk to you hopefully soon. I hope to finish Strongest Sage with Weakest Crest tonight as well. That would be nice. So I can get started in on verses and get through these last couple relatively quickly. So here we go, all done. I knew I'd finish this one up. This is volume 4 of The Strongest Sage with Weakest Crest. This is not really a manga that I'm really interested in at all, but it is one that I have a variety of volumes in, so I'm done, which does mean I'm back into Lewis Carroll, but it's verses, so that won't be as dragging as Sylvie and Bruno. I hope it's not as dragging as Sylvie and Bruno. I have some books here, and one of them actually, so we'll talk about this. First up, I do have the 3rd volume of Go 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 Ghost, which is a manga series that I'm interested in, and I'm on the 3rd volume. I got that. The other one is really packed in here, huh? Oh my god. This was a poor choice. Okay, we got it. So the other one, this is my old book. This is Seeing Straight. This is the Pentology of Hell 5.75. And actually, I am currently working my way through getting new covers for the majority of my books, because I was on the r/self-publishing subreddit, and they mentioned that one of the things that Amazon's been cracking down on recently is Canva covers. That's most of my books, not all my books, a lot of my, this one's a Canva cover. So I've just been slowly going through, so like within the next couple of weeks I will be getting a new cover for this, and so I will be reordering it. But I do have Seeing Straight. This is a pentology novella, but there's that, plus 2 the book wall. That is all. Hi, so I did finish up the verses section of the complete works of Lewis Carroll. It was fine. Poetry has to work really, really hard for me to enjoy it. Like, it has to be just the best poetry ever, or William Butler Yeats. That's really kind of the rules. So it is done. It was better than Sylvie and fucking Bruno. So there's that. I don't really have very many high hopes for the remains of this. So after this, all I have is I have stories, and I think it's just like a miscellany, so it's just other stuff. Don't have high hopes. After Through the Looking Glass, things just really went downhill. But before I get into the stories, I am going to read Do Not Disturb 2, The Platinum Palace. I have not read Do Not Disturb 1. I don't think it matters. If it does, I apologize. But I'm going to do this anyway. This will be my first John Nathan. We'll see. I don't have a great track record with extreme horror. The vast majority of it I find poorly written at best. So we'll see. Hello. Little bit of unboxing. That is not all books, I promise. We are feeding the book wall today. So this is from firstbookshop.org. That is what I've been trying to, utilize if I'm getting new books that aren't indie books. Emphasis on new. So I did pick that up. You can see it. The first volume of The Summer Hikaru Died, which I've heard a lot of interesting things about, and I've been seeing like clips of the anime, and it just looks like a fun one. I don't know, it looks pretty good. This is volume 1, so that's +1. +2 is The Faggots and Their Friends Between Revolutions by Larry Mitchell, which is old, and it is nonfiction, and it looks interesting. It's from 1977. So then, and here is primarily these. I got 3 of these. 2, 3 for my collection library. I did tack on an indie book though, so I did also +1 more to the book wall. A Spell for Heart Sickness, The Rune Tide, Book 1 by Alistair Reeves, which just looked interesting. I don't know, so there we go. +3 to the book wall right there. Hi, fun little update from bed reading. I did just finish up Do Not Disturb 2, The Platinum Palace by John Aitken. And I'm gonna say, I feel like I'm a bit, there's a bit of infamy with my disgust and, just, not disgust is a bad word, just how little I like extreme horror. I do enjoy splatterpunk. I think that extreme horror really is missing something. I will say that this is on the better half of things, right? Like, this is, it's not painful to read. There were definitely some creative skills going on. The characters were more fully realized than I think a lot of them did fall into a sort of like, I think it's hard to have a lot of really good characterization when you're in a death or death situation, like we are here in the Platinum Palace. But I do think that the characters should be more fully realized, but they're better than a lot of them. Like I said, like the writing isn't painful to read, the grammar isn't painful to read. I think I'd probably sit at like a 3.75. I don't really want to give it a full 4 because there's still that fucking clinical situation here. I think that we still use like if I have to read the word trapezoid in your fucking horror novel, I'm gonna throw it out the window. Like, I don't want the medical terminology for the bones that you're breaking. I don't want to hear, there's absolutely zero metaphor. Like, I think this is what it is. I think it's a complete lack of figurative language that I think we see a lot in extreme horror, and that's gotta be what it is. It's gotta be the fact that there's no figurative language. Figurative language is like a fucking spice, man. It's the poetry of it. And there's no goddamn poetry. And like I said, this wasn't bad. This was really, like I said, honestly, one of the best. I think that if you were looking for extreme horror with less sexual assault, it's not
zero, but less, especially considering the concept of this and the scope of this. There's not really very much sexual assault at all, you know, considering. Um, this one seems to be a good choice. I haven't read the first Do Not Disturb. You didn't need to. I understood this just fine. I didn't read the first Do Not Disturb, but this one, very little sexual assault. So if you're looking to get into extreme horror, but that is a bit of a trigger for you, this is a good choice, especially considering most is not a good choice, because a lot of extreme horror authors really do just rely on that for the shock factor, and Nathan didn't, which I can appreciate. So overall, I do think, obviously, the absolutely upper half, I'd say, I don't really count True Crime by Kolsnick as an extreme horror novella, because I think it's just too good for that. I think it's too good. I don't think it's just Blue Jay. I think Blue Jay is still kind of my standard, but I think it's better. I think I gave Summer Never Ends a higher rating this, but I think it might be better than Summer Never Ends. And it's absolutely better than Them or No One Rides for Free or anything I've ever read by Aaron Beauregard. But I did finish it. Minus one from the book wall. I could have absolutely done this update in my office, because I'm going to go and do that right now anyway. But I thought it just seemed like it might be a fun time to update by the light of my little book light. So there we are.
Alright, I did just finish the stories, which are primarily, there are 2 longer ones, and then there are a number of little ones. I think that the main, okay, there are 5 total, I guess. I think the best one was Wilhelm von Schmitz. I thought it was kind of funny. Absolutely, they're better than fucking Sylvie and Bruno. Absolutely better than Sylvie and Bruno. Do I think that you should seek out anything by Lewis Carroll other than Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass? No. But if you are also trying to read the entire works of Lewis Carroll, just by virtue of the book wall having the entire works of Lewis Carroll, and I don't fucking know why, then you can be happy to know that Wilhelm von Schmitz is not a bad story. But I only have a miscellany left in this one, so I'm on, it's 1121. I believe this is about 1,200 pages in it. Okay. Have the index, they're 1287, so it's got like less than 200 left, got like 160 left, but I am taking a break now, and I am going to read The House of Last Resort by Christopher Golden, which is a thriller. It's relatively recent, within the past couple of years. I got in 2024, I think. Was this one that I pre-ordered? Okay, it came in 2024. It's not even 300 pages long. So it shouldn't take me too long to read. And then I can finish with Mr. Carroll, and then I can move on to my next TBR, which I think I'm going to start trying to do rolling 10-book TBRs. I think I want to do these vlogs with 10-book TBRs. I think that sounds fun. The only difference is going to be when I have a drafting month. I'm not calling them nano months anymore, because nano is no longer a thing. I'm calling them drafting months. I only have one left in 2025, so that's November. I think next year I'm going to do 4, maybe 3. I don't know. I'm either going to do 3 or 4, and I'm just going to space them out evenly, so I might not even do one. I don't think I'm even going to do one in November next year, which is going to be weird. But that is that. I will talk to you when I finish House of Last Resort. I've kind of been gotten back into the habit of just talking to you when I finished a book, which I kind of like more for these vlogs. I don't know. Like, it feels a little bit righter, but that is everything. We got +3 to the book wall, I believe. So, I mean, 2 of them are packages. I don't know what's in them quite yet, but I'm pretty sure it's just stuff. But I do have, like, one of my last New Yorkers, I'm pretty sure, because they did not renew the subscription, just because I don't read them. So, now I have this, which I wish I had a scissors, but I'm too lazy to go get one. Oh, this is not close to the book wall. This is a textbook for next semester, so less exciting, but I believe this would be close to the book wall. That is going to be One Night in Firstwood by Emma Denny. So we've got +2 to the book wall. So there we go. Okay, hello. It's time for me to finish up the first vlog of Aurora and the book wall. We're working together. We love each other, because I didn't finish up the last 2 books on it. So House of Last Resort, and then the Complete Works of Lewis Carroll. So I'm going to talk about those, and then I'm also going to mention real quickly the additions to the book wall that I got the last couple days, because we went to Mall of America, which has a Barnes & Noble, and then I came home to packages. So that's how it goes. First up, what I read the House of Last Resort by Christopher Golden. It was fine. I think it was kind of it got a little weird there at the end. I really dug some of the rat descriptors. That was kind of fun, but like, I'm not sure. And the Complete Works of Lewis Carroll. If this entire vlog was asking, should you read Lewis Carroll? The answer is you can definitely stop after Through the Looking Glass. Some of the stories were fun. Some of the little puzzles and a miscellany were fun, but like, genuinely, Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, only stuff I really cared about. Okay, then really quickly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus 9 to the book wall to finish us out here for this vlog. I've got We Could Be So Good by Cat Sebastian. Still have not yet read anything by Cat Sebastian. I am, however, collecting her books. Losers Part 1 by Harley LaRue. I read The Dare and I thought it was actually kind of good, so I picked up the first book. Oh man, new covers for Pentology of Hell are starting to roll out. So this is 40 days. Am I putting the new covers out in order? Absolutely not. 40 Days and False Prophet are the only two that are out currently. But I do love them. They're all going to look somewhat like this, fairly similar, just with different color schemes and obviously different titles. But we've got new Pentology covers coming soon, which also means a new version of Iscariot in paperback that's not 500 pages long because I fucked up on the formatting with the double space. Okay. I picked up the 30th anniversary edition of A Secret History. I was like, I need something that's not a paperback of this book. I think if you saw that bookshelf audit that I did where I got rid of my copy, I needed a hardcover. All right, then the Barnes & Noble stuff. I picked up Volume 7 of Given, which I believe is the next one that I need. I've read 1 through 5. I've read 1 through 4. I'm pretty sure I had 5 and 6 as well. So here's number 7. I picked up And They Were Roommates by Paige Powers because I've been just keeping an eye on this one for a long time because it just looks kind of fun. Another one I've been keeping an eye on for a while, The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. I actually have not heard a ton of great things about this, but that's okay. That's okay. It looks fun. Among the Bros by Max Marshall, which is another one I've been really keeping an eye on, but haven't really ever had the gumption to purchase. That's really what this Barnes & Noble trip was, but this is a nonfiction thing about crime and hazing and stuff like that in fraternities. And then finally, Lost Gods by Brahm. Again, haven't read anything by Brahm yet, but I just keep picking up his books because they're beautiful. And this one looked like fun. The Barnes & Noble had like pretty much everything, all of his stuff, but this one looks the most fun. Now I own this one and Evil in Me. So there's that. That's the end of the first Aurora and the book wall. We're working together now. I can love him just the way he is. That's okay. And you know what? There's the wide variety of books in the book wall. It's just happy. It's a happy time. I am now working on the second version. I did get 100 pages into The Idiot, which is one of the things that I brought because it was like little and long. But then I put it back where it goes. So I'm not going to be picking that back up again until I finish 5 other books, which is fine. So yes, I will talk to you later in the next video. You will see the TBR in the next video and all that fun stuff. That is everything. I will talk to you later. Goodbye.